This is the Bully Prevention to Honor. As was stated, my name is Gregory Carmichael. I am from the North American Division. Deeper, I'm from the Southern Union. I currently sit on the North American Division Honors Task Force, and I'm happy to serve in that capacity. Um, Anything about me that wasn't said? Nothing really. I love pathfindering. I've been a pathfinder since I was actually I was a pre-pathfinder. This was before the name adventurous came along, so it tells you a little something. Doesn't tell you my age, but it tells you a little bit how long I've been in there. But I've seen the program grow. It's just phenomenal, and it's a wonderful, life-changing experience, and it has done so for me. So thank you for having me. As we move into the honor now. Okay.
There we go.
All right. Um, Let me do something real quick here. Okay. I think, okay, great. Let me see. Just want to make sure.
Yep, you're on the big idea. And I like your big idea that you've stated here, Gregory. Bullying is, what does it say here? Bullying is a human behavior. You can choose to change your role. Ooh, I bet you're going to unpack that whole change your role part. But I like how you started how bullying is human behavior. Ooh, tell us about this.
Yes.
Okay, I'm just trying to get it.
One more forward.
Something happened here.
Sorry, guys, for the technical difficulty a little bit here. We will get this solved. You're going backwards currently. Need to go forward. Yeah. There we go.
Okay.
I think that, yeah, there we go.
I'll just do it this way. No problem. Okay, bullying. Yes, bullying is the big idea of what we want to discuss. Before we get into the honor, we need to understand one thing. Bullying, although it is human behavior, you and I have the ability to choose our role when we encounter bullying situations. We will talk about this more as we go into the honor. You'll understand exactly what roles we're talking about. Requirement number 1, review and explain 4 basic rules of bully prevention. Although this is the Bully Prevention 2 honor, Bully Prevention 1 is not required to be completed before doing this honor.
Yep.
In particular, this requirement is also in the Bully 1 Prevention honor, and therefore serves as a review for this honor that we're about to do. And you're going to see the next 1 or 2 honors that are also review honors. They also exist in Bully Prevention 1.
Okay, so we have the 4 rules here. Is that what I'm seeing?
Yes, we have the 4 rules. First rule, we will not bully others. Rule number 2, we will try to help students or our friends who are bullied.
Okay, so you added the word our friends. Could it be that sometimes even people we don't like very much, if we see a bully situation taking place, that we could step in and help assist? Is that okay even if they're not our friends?
That's right. That's right. Thank you, Mark. That's right. It's any situation that you know you're in a situation where you see bullying taking place. You know you have an obligation as an individual, as a Christian young person, to do your part. Okay. Rule number 3, we will try to include students who are left out. And this goes for our friends, this goes for individuals we're not necessarily acquainted with, but the rules apply no matter what. Rule number 4, if we know somebody is being bullied, we will tell an adult at school or church and an adult at home. In other words, if you know of this situation, it is not, you don't keep it to yourself, because by you doing that, in essence, you're enabling it because you're not saying anything. When you tell someone, it shows that you care, you're concerned, And it also helps by telling an adult where that adult can be in a better position to do something about that. Okay?
Yeah, I like that fourth one, especially Mr. Carmichael, because sometimes when we're in bully situations, we feel powerless, like we don't have enough wisdom, enough energy, enough size, enough whatever to be able to handle it. But man, if we get some adult people involved,
Mm-hmm.
that can really make it so that the bully situation just kind of gets exploded and isn't happening anymore. Man,
Right.
there's some good potential there. Not easy to mention an adult and say, hey, by the way, did you know that? That code of silence is pretty powerful. But boy, this can change things for the positive, it looks like.
That's right. That's right. Moving on to requirement number 2. This is also a review question. Review some of the signs to look for that could determine if an individual is suffering from some form of bullying. This is a key requirement, young people. This is a key requirement. And also, this was a review from Bully Prevention 1. What are some signs? First.
Ooh, so the underlying stuff, right, is what we're looking for?
Yes.
Yeah.
Bullying is what? Let's start with the first one. Unwanted. That means that bullying, well, let me read the whole thing first and then we can break it down. Bullying is unwanted, aggressive behavior among school-age children that involves a real or perceived power imbalance. Now that term, let's break down these two terms. Unwanted means that it is not welcome. You do not appreciate it. You feel uneasy when it's taking place. Aggressive behavior, that is behavior that involves physical touching. It's an unwelcome touch. Power imbalance.
Or could it be verbal? I think we're going to find out later that's more than just touch.
Yes.
Aggressive meaning that it's getting closer and being more personal, getting in somebody's space more than it needs to be, right? Is that a good way to put it?
That is an excellent way to put it. It's invading their space. Verbally,
whatever that means, physical, mental, emotional, whatever.
Correct.
Okay.
Now, power imbalance. When we say power imbalance, we're saying that one person or a group of people want to have some form of relational or a communication power over someone else. Okay? If power is balanced, that means that it is equal among everyone that's involved. For example, like a team, if we're a knot tying team, well, all of us on that team have equal power. We all have equal say because we want to move forward as a team. When someone on the knot tying team that says, no, we're going to do it this way, or we're going to do it this way, that person wants to exercise power over others. And therefore you have what is called a power imbalance.
And then add to that aggressive behavior and you've got some really weird things going on.
That's right.
Yeah, just the question in terms of, I mean, I've noticed in the sense that, and even in the previous slide, you talked about, school-age children and young people. I don't know, Natalie could maybe tell, but yeah, sometimes you see a lot of children actually bullying adults. I've seen that, how really the misbehavior towards an adult. And what do you do? What maybe you can talk about actually when you see, an adult being bullied by actually a young person. That was very sad to see. At one stage I saw, you know
what's funny? As we go through the honor, believe it or not, we're going to answer that question.
Yeah, good.
Because when we talk about different roles, actually it's coming up very shortly.
And good. I noticed, Mr. Carmichael, you mentioned that it wasn't just size, like size of person, but it also could be number of people.
That's right.
Yes.
And we're going to get
so that helps us with our understanding, doesn't it?
That is correct. We're going to get into some good stuff in this honor, some really good stuff. The behavior is repeated. Key word, repeated. Remember that word when we move into a particular slide. Remember the word repeated, or has the potential to be repeated over time. Both kids who are bullied and who bully others may have serious, lasting problems. Okay? Young people often describe bullying as when someone makes you feel less than who you are as a person. Mm-hmm. That is the hurtful part of bullying. It makes someone, it robs an individual, it robs them of their individuality, what makes them who they are. And when you rob them of that, it sets off a horrible pattern. And this is a pattern that could last well into adulthood. Okay.
And I guess, Mr. Carmichael, I know the many times that we talked as we were working on the development of this honor, a lot of one of the reasons that we wanted to make sure that this got out there was that we know that bullying happens even in situations where we think it should be safe. Even if we're, in our church, it can happen. It
That's
shouldn't
right.
happen, but sometimes it does because bullying behavior is human behavior. Sometimes people want power and they're not quite doing things the Jesus way, and things happen. So nobody should feel bad if they've been bullied. In fact, this can be an empowerment kind of thing of how to break the cycle. And you're going to tell us about the cycle, aren't you?
That is correct. That is correct. What are
Tell
some
us
of the
about the signs.
Okay. What are some of the signs? If someone is repeatedly bullied, doing things from a position of power, bullying involves what? Making threats, or you spread rumors, whether they're true or false, about somebody. And we'll distinguish the two. Or you attack someone physically or verbally, or you exclude someone from a group. You make them feel like they are not wanted. That is a form of bullying. Oh, let us play a basketball game and leave Greg out. That's a form of bullying, making them feel less, like they're not valuable to the group. Not all victims show signs of bullying. Keep that in mind. Just because you're being bullied or that you know of someone being bullied doesn't mean that they show outward indications of mistreatment. It does not negate the fact that they may be suffering or feeling rejection or distress. Let's keep that in mind. Some people are good at hiding their feelings, in other words. They're good at masking it because they don't want more attention pointed to themselves. Okay? Requirement number 3. Review what the different roles people play when being part of a bullying situation, often described as the bully circle. Which roles have you witnessed happen in situations you have seen or have been involved in? Now we're going to get into something called the bully circle. Okay? The bully circle. Take a look at this diagram. Take a look at this picture. Take a look really good. We see multiple individuals. We see a group, okay? We see the reinforcer, the target, the assistant, the outsider, and the bully, okay? Now, let me see if I could put up a couple slides here, okay? And let's see if we can bring this over a little bit here, okay? I don't think I can do this, but let's try. So you could at least.
There we go.
Okay, let's try here. It won't work too much, but okay. I think we have it. Let's try this. Now, those who bully, these are individuals who actively bully others. Okay. As you can see, do you see my pointing here, or you probably do not? Okay. Notice here you have the bully in the red shirt in number 8.
Yep.
Okay. Now, he's bullying. Now, he also has 2 assistants. One who is holding the target, that is the person being bullied. But you also have another assistant who's on the lookout, making sure that there's no one coming. If someone is coming, he will inform the bully, and the bully would have to temporarily stop what he's doing. You also have the target. The target, as we said, is the victim of the bullying. We also have the reinforcers. The reinforcers are dangerous individuals. Reinforcers support the bullying by creating an audience. Okay? These are individuals who may not be directly involved in the bully situation, but they play a major role, enough to encourage the progression of the bullying. And this is done by means of laughing, responding to the negativity, or encouraging the bully. Hey, remember what he said about you last week? Yeah, things like that. They're encouraging the bully situation. So they're reinforcing, they're on the side of the bully. Okay? We also have the outsider. Many of us are outsiders. We watch, but we choose not to play any role in the bully situation. Okay? They do not enforce the bullying, nor do they defend the one who is being bullied. They offer no feedback about the situation in any capacity, although their presence alone is enough to encourage the bullying. We see that all the time. You see it all the time on TV when they shout, fight, fight, and you have everyone that gathers around to the fight. Yeah, they're not involved in the fight. They're not encouraging the fight. In fact, they're not saying nothing. But the mere fact that they are a part of the audience is enough because the bully wants an audience.
Okay. I'm just looking at that picture and I'm thinking, Mr. Gregory, how much just one person choosing to intercede as an assistant for the target, how easily that could change this whole circle.
Easily could change the situation because the assistant has a connection with the bully. The assistant knows the bully and has influence over the bully's actions.
Yeah, so but just think if one of those outsiders all of a sudden decided to get involved and decided to get involved positively by helping the target. Wouldn't that make a difference?
That would make a big difference. In fact, any one of these individuals can change the situation. That's the thing about the bully circle. Anyone in the bully circle has influence to change the situation. And it goes back to what we said in the very beginning. We choose our role.
And we can choose to change our role.
That's
okay,
right.
we've got to keep moving because we've got, I think there's what, 16 or 17 requirements on this. So yes, let's keep rolling.
All right. Did the bully circle? Okay. Bully. What words belong here that aren't here already?
Ooh, so this is something we could do in the chat window on Facebook or in Zoom, couldn't we? Yes, we could look over some of the rules here and see if there's some of the words here and see if there's other ones that we could add to it. Miss Natalie, can you help us with that?
Yep, absolutely. I'll look out for that. So, guys, if you could just get typing what words belong here that aren't already here. What words can you think of? Oh, somebody said damage straight away. Mm-hmm. That's a great one. Distress. I think we'll have to wait a little while for Facebook to catch up with us, but Zoom's on it. Pushing, pain. These are great words. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
They're sad words, but they are very relevant. Right, nothing coming through on Facebook. So you go ahead with.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Greg.
Requirement number 4. Explain the following types of bullying and evaluate ways that you would know what the following are happening within your friendship community. Okay. With this requirement, it brings us to this slide. Now, we have some types of bullying. The first,
and if I remember right, Mr. Gregory, the ones on the left you already did in Bully Prevention 1, right?
That is correct.
So we can focus on the 3 on the right.
We're going to focus on the 3 highlighted ones on the right.
And if anybody did miss the first part, the first honor, of course you can go back on the website and you can follow that. All the details are there. Mr. Carmichael's presentation is there as well. The worksheet and the slides are all there. So don't worry if you haven't seen the first part before, because you can catch up, no problem.
Yep.
Yes, thank you so much. That is right. So the first part for this particular honor, Bully Prevention 2, focuses on the highlighted items: relational aggression, cyberbullying, and sexual bullying. So looking at the first one here, aggression, relational aggression. What do we mean by relational aggression? Relational aggression is used to harm in a person, is used to create harm in a person's social standing by spreading rumors and damage relationships with others. In other words, relational aggression is more like you saying things or doing things to try to make that person feel horrible about themselves. You say bad things about them, things that could be true or things that are not so necessarily true at all. Give you an example. Leaving someone out on purpose, okay? Telling others not to be friends with someone else for no particular reason at all. Oh, don't be friends with them. If they're not friends with me, you don't need to be friends with them. Spreading rumors about someone. These rumors could be true. These rumors can be false. Or you can use information to embarrass someone in public. For example, you are entrusted with information about somebody. That person trusts you, and then you decide in public to share that information. That is a form of, that's relational aggression. That's hurtful because you violated that trust.
Sounds like the words damaging friendships would be relevant to that one.
Yes, it would
Anything that damages friendships or what you think are friendships.
Or what you thought that was what was a friendship. That's right.
Because I don't know about you, but sometimes when I was in school, and it even happens as adults, sometimes people can pretend to be your friends until they're in a power position, and then they can go to that relational aggression kind of stuff and make you feel bad about yourself, even though they were the ones playing you to where you thought there was a relationship or friendship going on.
That's right. And they put the power struggle, they put the power on you. And it's horrible. It's a horrible thing. Cyberbullying. What is cyberbullying? Cyberbullying is the use of social media or an internet-capable device to harass or embarrass someone in the presence of a much larger audience who is familiar with that person. In that situation, that person would be called the target. Okay?
So it's like that bully circle you talked about earlier, but it's virtual. It's on the devices instead of in front of the lockers or in front of the classroom or in the Sabbath school hallway or by the drinking fountain. It's in virtual space.
And what makes it worse is that there are no faces. There are no faces when it comes to cyberbullying. Everyone is looking on a screen. They can mask themselves. In fact, let's look at this here. The most common places where cyberbullying occurs are on what? Social media, such as Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. You could text message and send out texts to groups. You have messaging apps. You have instant messaging, direct messaging, online chatting over the internet. You have online forums, chat rooms, and message boards, such as Reddit. You have email. You have online gaming communities. You have so many different outlets where bullying can take place. These are outlets where another individual can make contact with you. They could hide behind a curtain through any of these forms of media. You have multiple people that could attack you. Cyberbullying is I don't want to say it's new, but it's a new form of bullying, but it is, the impact is much deeper. Because the thing about cyberbullying is that it passes through computers, through servers. Anything that is said, anything that is written stays in memory. Even if you think you deleted it, it's not deleted. And you have to be careful. And you know what's sad, on a side note, what's sad about cyberbullying, even with email, if I say something about someone, and I'll use myself as an example, if I write something at the moment, I'm very angry, I'm very upset, and I decide I want to write something to express myself, and I'm going to share it with everybody. At that moment, when I hit that enter key, I felt good. It was like a drug. It was like I'm high off of it. I felt good about what I just did. But guess what? 3 weeks later, you and that person make friends, and you think everything is okay. But guess what? A year later, that same message comes back up. Or someone else who may not like you decides they're going to repost it because they saved it. It's already out there. So you have to be careful with what you type, with what you say. Don't think because you hit the delete key that it's over. It's not.
And cyberbullying is probably a lot more dangerous because you can reach a much wider audience just at a click of a button.
That's right.
In person, there's probably just a few people around you, but online, it can be hundreds of people.
It'd be hundreds of people. And not only that, it will multiply exponentially. Why? Because one of those individuals will copy their group, and then another person will copy their group. So when you wake up the next morning, it could be thousands of individuals that saw what you said.
Because some people who are also feeling mad or just jealous or just whatever feelings that weren't quite right can press the heart button or the thumbs up button or the share button.
That's
and
right.
Off it goes.
Off it goes. Off it
And
goes.
no matter where we are on the bully circle, we can either be an accessory and an accomplice by helping forward it. We can be the one who started it. We can be the one who's the target of it. Or we can be the one that just scrolls through and pauses too long, the observers. But see how the bully circle is there online, just like it is in the picture that Mr. Carmichael gave us? It works the same way, but the circle's a lot bigger and a lot more people involved.
That's right. And it's a dangerous situation. Take a look at this bully circle again. Remember this bully circle. Remember this bully circle. Uh-oh.
Can't see it yet. Are you dragging it into our space?
I think I did something here. Oh boy, something happened. Okay, here we go.
Okay, no worries. Talk to us about the types of cyberbullying.
Okay. Prohibiting, keeping someone out of the information loop. Hurtful, very hurtful. That's when someone, when you have a group that's established and there's a party, I don't know, a party that's going to take place, and you are purposely left out of the invitation, but everybody else is going. Hurtful and damaging. Deception, that's befriending the target before the purpose of acquiring information that can be used against them by forwarding it to others. Also damaging. Degeneration, attacking the target's character by deliberately sending messages or posting false information or rumors about the person to inflict damage on reputation and character. This is one of the most hurtful things that someone can do. Spreading false information about you, things that are not true. You're sitting there defending yourselves. And the thing is, individuals like information like this. They like damaging. They don't like when you try to live for Christ. So they try to find something to damage your reputation. Very hurtful, very hurtful.
I like how you said, Mr. Carmichael, well, I don't like it, but I'm very aware of that people like to spread bad information or hurtful information. There's something that's part of our fallen human nature where we are attracted to the naughty, the bad, the off color, the mean. Ever since Eve and the snake had that conversation, we've been attracted that way, which kind of takes us back to that starter slide, doesn't it? Bully behavior is human behavior.
That's right.
We've got to be aware of who we are as fallen Christians and say, you know what, we don't have to stay here, but we have to know what our tendency is.
Right. We love hearing bad information. We don't like hearing good things about people because that makes us question ourselves and our own character. But we love hearing bad things. We like to hear things that make us look better than someone else. So it's very unfortunate. Let's go back to cyber stalking. Wow. Repetitive messaging tools to send painful, malicious, or false information or threatening messages. Flaming, fights between individuals conducted online using strong, harsh, and ill-mannered language. Impersonation, a horrible tactic. acquiring some form of access to a person's email or social media account, and then using that time frame that you have to send derogatory or humiliating material to others under that person's identity. Horrible, horrible, horrible.
I've noticed, Mr. Carmichael, that each one's of that you've listed under cyberbullying, it kind of gets worse and worse and worse. They're all bad, but it's like it gets more and more damaging.
That's right.
As you go down the list. I mean, that last one, I bet you in most places on our planet, that last one's illegal and can get you into some serious legal trouble.
Oh, that can get you in some serious trouble. In fact, I know of an individual who lost their job because they did something like this. I won't get into the details, but they did something similar to this. And because of the person who account the access, that person was more of a senior level, which made whatever came out from them more credible.
Right.
And the truth came out. The logs were there. Remember, everything you send out is recorded somewhere. They checked the logs, come to find out that that person was on vacation when it took place. And when you go on vacation in certain industries, you do not have access to your email.
Gotcha. So what you're saying is that bully behavior doesn't just happen in the classroom and in Sabbath school class. It can happen with adults too. And therefore, adults have to be just as aware and choosing their role and working together to break bully circles. Is that what you're saying?
I'm trying to prevent us from going another 5 hours into this honor, but absolutely, adults are just as guilty as our young people when it comes to bullying, just as guilty.
Which is one of the reasons why we're teaching the honor here, right? So that our young people can learn young, so that maybe not bullying and not being part of a bully circle becomes the norm, so that maybe we can have a better future than maybe our current reality is sometimes. Our kids, our Pathfinders can do a better job than their forebears have done.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Sweet. Talk to us about probably the yuckiest of all of these, the sexual bullying.
The sexual bullying. Sexual bullying is the use of hurtful or demeaning acts towards a person that target their sexuality. This may involve sexually oriented name calling, comments, gestures, and unwelcome touching. Okay?
Now, something ought to be said here, boys and girls. God made us sexual creatures, boys and girls, soon to be men and women. He values us for the differences that both of our genders have. So this can be especially hurtful because people can try to attack who God made us to be as men and women, boys and girls, for him. So sometimes, this is stuff that should never happen, but sometimes it does. We hope that through this presentation that you can be more aware so that maybe you can help keep it from happening for one of your friends, or you can be aware and see something developing and say, nope, not going there. That's headed the wrong direction. That one has way too much damage there. I'm stepping the other direction.
Amen.
Yep. Okay, go ahead, Mr. Carmichael. Had to put that little caveat in there.
And I appreciate that. That is truth. I appreciate that. Examples of sexual bullying: making sexual jokes, comments, or gestures to or about someone, using various online or face-to-face methods to spread unwelcome rumors, writing sexual messages about people in public areas, showing inappropriate sexual pictures or videos to someone of themselves or another person. These things take place in the adult world too, young people, okay? Posting sexual comments online of videos or pictures on social networks. The act of touching, grabbing, or pinching someone in a deliberate sexual way. Now, notice something. When we say sexual bullying, I know a number of you, even adults, all you thought about was the touching part. Not so. Notice 5 of the 6 speak outside of the touching. Sexual bullying can take place without touching someone, and you need to understand that. Okay?
And it goes back to your original description that kids often refer to bullying as making them feel less than they truly are. That
right.
definition is true of this type of bullying just as much as any of the other ones, it sounds like.
That's right. That's right.
Mm.
Okay. Let's move on to requirement number 5. Requirement number 5, it's in 2 parts. So 5A, briefly describe the differences between flirting and sexual harassment. Very interesting one. Okay.
Oh, skipped it.
The answer to that is total opposites. Flirting, for example, is a welcomed action. It is attention that is appreciated. When you see 2 individuals talking, and a male and female, and they're talking and they're laughing and they're smiling and they're joking and they're just getting to know each other, yes, that's flirting. Okay? Sexual harassment is the total opposite in that it is not welcomed. Okay? The attention is not wanted. The attention is not appreciated. And it becomes sexual, and this is a key thing to remember, it becomes sexual harassment after you understand that it was not welcome the first time. You went with the intention of flirting, and it was already shown that it was not appreciated, it was not wanted. But when you go back a second time, or a third, fourth, or fifth, and you do the same thing, it becomes sexual harassment because you're doing the same thing over and over. Remember, it's a repeated action. Okay?
With an imbalance of power,
That's
repeated,
right.
not appreciated, not wanted. Yeah.
And I think there are some cues as well that people can pick up on to know when it's not appreciated. So if somebody's looking uncomfortable, they're not responding to you, they've dropped their gaze, their eyesight from you, then these are signs that this is not welcome. And they, they're trying to get away as quickly as possible. These are the cues for you to say, I need to stop right here now.
That's right. That's right.
Because it's from the perspective of the person receiving the messages.
That's right. You said something that's key. You have to look for signs. When you speak to someone, you have to look for signs to know that if what you're saying is not appropriate or you're making the other person feel uncomfortable. Okay? You have to look for those signs, because the thing is, if you do not see those signs, you're going to continue speaking. And that person is now going to take it as you are harassing me because you're ignoring me. Well, you're ignoring what I'm saying. You're ignoring my gestures. So you have to be careful. Look out. Look, when you talk to someone, look in their eyes, speak to them. Okay? And understand the body cues. Okay?
So it makes you a better communicator if you're aware of this, then, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Better communicators have better lives.
That's right.
Yeah.
Requirement 5B. Briefly describe some characteristics of cyberbullying that make it different from other common types of bullying. First, messages posted do not go away. Once a message is sent using any form of social media, it remains archived. Not only this, the message can circulate for an extensive period of time, appearing once again labeled as a memory or a repost by someone else with hundreds, if not thousands, of views already. Although the person may have forgotten the act, the internet, social media, they do not understand the term forgive or forget. Those are foreign terms for the internet and social media. You have to remember that. Messages can mean different things to different people. That's right. A message can be reviewed as something that's very funny by some standards, and yet can be highly offensive to others. The original intent of what was sent can easily be misinterpreted, which can lead to a whole bunch of other issues and backlash in the process. Okay? Anyone can do it at any time. That is true. This included the privacy of your own home or a library setting. Okay, it could be the usage of mobile devices that have access to social sites or messaging tools. No face-to-face contact or verbal communication is required, which makes it that much more desirable for a bullying situation.
So, Mr. Gregory, with all the time that we've spent at home more than usual over the last year, do you think cyberbullying has become more of a problem than maybe it was before COVID-19? What do you think?
It has become an absolute devastation. And the person to ask are school teachers. Bullying is taking place in the classroom setting.
In the Zoom classroom settings, as it were.
In the Zoom classroom setting, bullying is taking place in front of the teacher. Things are being, and what's bad about it, you know, my daughter had a situation which was just absolutely incredible. And sometimes the class, I won't get into the details, but the class had to stop. The teacher had to stop the class to address the issue. Because there is a setting, it's something about the computer screen that it acts like a shield. Like I'm protected, you know, no one could physically harm me. So the bullying is coming from their mouth, the things that they're saying. If someone says something horrible about someone else in the class and everyone is clicking likes and laughing, and bullying is taking place in the classroom during COVID. Oh yes. Oh
okay,
yes.
so we should be even more aware now.
Yes.
And even more willing to say, no, I'm not going there. Maybe I should say something in that chat string and say, guys, this is not cool. We really don't want to get in trouble.
That's right. It is not cool. It is not so. And the thing is, everything is being recorded. So it's not like you could say, I didn't say that. Yes, they could go back and repeat it and show your face and show you saying it and show you typing it and everyone liking it. Yes, you have to be careful. You have to be careful.
All recorded. Wow, that is a reality of our time.
Anyone can fall victim. Due to the nature of email, instant messaging, or social media tools, anyone can fall victim to cyberbullying. Okay? There is no form of segregation as it pertains to targeting individuals. Anyone can be bullied. Online activity is more difficult to trace. Yes, why? Because it's faceless. The act of creating a fake account or that would allow someone to bully or inflict harm, giving that it's an unidentifiable person. The individual knows who their intended target is, but potentially leaving that victim in a state of fear is one of the goals. Simple tools like email can be used to do a lot of harm.
I like how you mentioned that online activity is more difficult to trace, with a caveat for the everyday end consumer, like the person being the target, harder to trace who was attacking me, who was targeting me. What is not true, however, is that people in the legal system, people who are taking care of us, it is very traceable because the internet, the recording tools, so very traceable on a secondary level. So be careful there.
That's right.
Don't go there. Be the interrupter. Be the one who breaks up the bully circle, not the one who makes it happen.
That's right.
Because even if it's harder for the target to figure out who did what, yeah, it's amazing how be sure your sins will find you out really happens.
That's right. How much time do we have left?
We've got about what is it? About 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay, great, good. We'll make it through. Last one. Simple tools like email can be used to do a lot of harm. Giving its ability to send derogatory information about others to a broad audience in a short period of time. Since a single message is sent and its recipients receive and send that along, the damage inflicted can be tremendous. Okay. Bullying is a behavior. As we said earlier, you can choose to change your role. if you know you know your situation right now, you can choose which role you want to play. Okay. But one thing I encourage you to do is to crush the bully circle.
Yep.
Okay. What's next? Some of you may ask. Well, there are some requirements. Not all of the requirements are here, but we have some that are the remaining that are listed. So we're going to just run through those with the time that we have left. These are for you to finish the activity requirements. So the first one here, number 6, discuss with the group the following texts as it relates to bullying. Deuteronomy 31:6, you can see them here, but just to give you a very brief synopsis of what they're about. Deuteronomy talks about being a strong and being of good courage, and that the Lord will not fail you. Proverbs talks about the power of the tongue. James talks about the control of the tongue, you as an individual controlling your tongue. Ephesians speaks about being mindful of what you say to individuals. And Mark talks about loving your neighbor as you would love yourself. But these are things that you could discuss among your group, and you could expand on it. This is a very good requirement for you guys to engage in. Number 7, discuss with an individual or in a group some of the ways to protect oneself from relational aggression, cyberbullying, and sexual bullying. Well, this is a very broad, this is a broad honor. We'll take you a minute. Given the broad scope on the effects of relational aggression and how this can lead to other forms of bullying, there are a number of actions that can be taken to address the issue. I encourage you to have a discussion on these 3 items pertaining to this honor: relational aggression, cyberbullying, and sexual bullying. But this
Now,
is
I'm noticing, Mr. Gregory, you keep saying discuss. So could it be that we take maybe just 1 or 2 of our Pathfinder group tuned in today? Could we take this recording from YouTube, since it's going to be uploaded to YouTube tonight? Could we take it to our next Zoom club meeting and say, hey, let's work together as a club, and we kind of review the first part, and then we spend the next meeting maybe, or the next session, where we actually discuss with our unit, with our group of friends that's wanting to earn the honor together, and actually discuss it through.
That's an excellent idea, Mark. That's excellent.
Yeah,
okay.
I was just about to say, because we can't meet up at the moment, but we can still discuss online and talk it through and arrange a time with our club directors. So
I mean, if we can run PBE and ABE on Zoom, we sure can run a discussion like this in the same format, right?
Yes, you can. Yes. Excellent ideas.
Okay, keep rolling.
All right. Requirement number 8. Reflect on a moment when you or someone you know experienced being a target of relational aggression. As a first-hand witness or form a close acquaintance, briefly answer the following. 1, explain in as much detail as possible what took place. What actions were sought to address the issue? What lessons were learned from that experience? This is an opportunity for you to reflect a little bit. All of us have been involved in some form or another on a bully situation. I know I have been. I have been bullied. I have watched someone being bullied. I have been, in my younger days, I was an outsider a lot. I'm proud to say I was not an assistant. Target, yes. Reinforcer when I was real young and didn't have no sense in my head. Yeah, but this is an opportunity for you to reflect.
I like how this also gives us a chance to say, what could we have done differently to bust up that bully circle? There's that reflection element in there.
What could I have done different? Yeah,
what's number 9 say?
Demonstrate a profound understanding of the vulnerabilities, accountabilities, and pitfalls of spreading rumors by doing one of the following. As you can see, we have 3 items here listed. Okay.
So one of them looks like it's examining media like magazines, either printed or online, and evaluating for bully behavior or that kind of stuff. Another one is discussion.
I think those who've been watching the news recently, I don't know if it's hit the States as well, but the recent interview from the royal family as well. That's quite a relevant, pertinent thing. So
yes.
that might be a topic that the Pathfinders might want to look at.
And believe it or not, we get the royal family stuff over here too.
Actually, now that I think about it, that situation has all three of the aspects within this honor. So yes, that would be an excellent topic to reflect on while going through these requirements. Okay, let's go to number 10. Cyberbullying often includes elements that endanger the life and safety of someone else, and thus may require reporting to officials. Determine what steps or actions are needed at each stage listed below to work to resolve cyberbullying situation. Evidence collection, reporting to parents in school, reporting to law enforcement, reporting cyberbullying to online service providers. There are things you can do, okay? I like the one with the online providers. Yes, you can block the person from viewing or posting your profile, okay? You do not make the effort to respond to negativity, okay? There are things you can do to kind of defend yourself or allowing yourself to be pulled into that situation, okay?
Cool. Number 11.
Okay. Let's go to number 11. Discuss each of the following scenarios as a group. 1, read the situation. 2, evaluate whether sexual bullying is taking place. And 3, based on your observation, discuss potentially appropriate responses. Okay?
And there's a whole bunch here, aren't there?
That's right. There's a whole bunch to choose from here. One idea as shared here, do as small group skits, or you could do this through Zoom or in person, then discuss.
Yep.
This is pretty much an open-ended question designed for self-reflection in obtaining a well-rounded understanding of the differences between flirting and harassment.
There you go.
Feel free to create scenarios that further highlight and expand on these differences. Okay. Number 12. Discuss from a Christian's perspective how bullying has been and continues to be used as a means to hinder spreading the gospel of Christ. Some questions you can ask. Is it possible to love Jesus when you have never experienced love? How far hindered people from, excuse me, how has fear hindered people from saying yes to Jesus? How do kids who wish to accept Jesus find honor your father and mother hard when their parents attempt to prevent them from accepting Jesus? Is this action bullying?
Wow, those are some good question starters.
These are some very good questions. These questions are designed to be used as biblical references, as well as current events facing Christians around the world that reflect how the act of bullying has been used as an effective tactic against religious freedom and its continuing infringement on religious rights. Again, this is an open question in which dialogue is encouraged. Okay, this is the last requirement of this honor. What's next, some of you may ask? Well, you could learn by doing the Bully Prevention 1 honor as well. Remember, the Bully Prevention honor talks about the other 3 topics, and I know there was a recording done, but the 2 honors, remember, you don't have to do Bully Prevention 1 in order to do Bully Prevention 2. Okay, they just named differently. You could do either one. You can start off with either one.
Yep.
Okay. Some other cool honors that you can earn along with the Bully Prevention 2 honor are listed right here. Again, Bully Prevention 1, Christian visitation, serving communities, family life, Christian team building, visual media critique, small group Bible study, and advanced, social media, peacemaker and advanced, missionary life and advanced.
And especially peacemaker is very close and very related to the one you presented today.
That's correct. Okay. Our last slide. There are resources that are available to you to gain further knowledge and further study of the bully prevention to honor. You could, when you YouTube, you could do a search on bully prevention, or you could type in bully prevention strategies. There's a number of excellent resources and videos out there that bring awareness to the topic. Also, some interesting sites are stopbullying.gov. Also, you could also visit these two websites here, one on pbis.org and one on apbaworld.org. As we conclude and wrap up, it is my hope that if you didn't know too much or were not aware of bully situations, that this honor kind of gave you some insight, kind of opened up our eyes to see what